Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the TF Cast.
Today with us, we have Andrew Peterson, DJ Lustyr, friend of the show, and Mankato dweller. I don't know. Tell us something,
like
Andrew.
Hey, yeah, my name is Andrew, and I am dwelling in Mankato right now. Originally, it was for school. I'm a student at MSU Mankato. Started as a computer engineer, but then switched over to music industry, and I've been liking that a lot more. So,
yeah. And let's talk a little bit about how we came into contact through Willis and your EP.
Yes, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
when was that? How long ago was that now?
that was February of 2019
So
when I shared that.
February 2019, you released was it like 4 tracks?
6 tracks.
Six
Yep.
tracks.
So that was
That's
like
nearly
my
an album.
I think technically that's an album. So, but yeah, I think it still comes up as like EP on Spotify. Anyway.
Well, you posted it in, I think it was the Mankato Musicians, and
Yep.
it was a group that I'd kind of become aware of recently, and as a DJ, I was scoping it for musical talent, and I saw your post as a bit of a threat to my DJ empire I was building.
Yeah. I apologize for that, but I'm glad it wasn't a threat. We ended up being acquaintances and good friends now. So
definitely, I checked it out and I was like, okay, this is actually really cool, and hits in a lane that I'm bad at, so he can have it.
Yeah, you're actually a house music DJ.
yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about house music.
Yeah. So, house music is my jam. I mean, the best way that I can explain it to people who don't know what it is, it's boots and cats. You've probably heard that a lot. Yeah. That's house music.
There we are.
So yeah, it originated like in Chicago. That's the stuff I'm into, like late 80s or like mid to late 80s. It kind of formed in Chicago with people like Frankie Knuckles. They're kind of the pioneers of house music. But yeah, that's kind of the sound I'm into. That 2 a.m. Rounds EP was more of kind of like a chill electronic-y play on like house music. So very chill, very atmospheric. So that was kind of the vibe I was going for with that one.
Yeah, and at what point in your DJ? I mean, I don't know how to say this nice way. There's not like a whole bunch of market in Mankato for like a house specific DJ. I mean, or like in a lot of places, like it has to be something you're just into. Like, how did you come into it?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, there's not really. I mean, besides like Willis and the people I've met through Willis, like I didn't know house music existed in Mankato, so it was good figuring that out. But yeah, I think just ever since I was a little kid, first I kind of had like a heavy rock phase because of like Guitar Hero. So that was pretty fun. But then I remember I think it was like 4th grade. It's kind of funny how I stumbled across it. I was watching a YouTube video for a roller coaster tycoon, like roller coaster build. And there was a Daft Punk song in it. It was Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger. And that's where like my music taste totally changed. So since then, like I remember, late elementary school, I would just bump like Daft Punk on the way to school. And yeah, it just kind of became my life.
That's cool.
So
I definitely feel that. Daft Punk was a pretty big one for me too, and determining that I mostly was into electronic music. It wouldn't have been the thing that I would have thought would ever get me into house, but I was super excited when I found out there was someone who was going to DJ the thing that I probably like most from a DJ at like one of our Sunday Fundays or something. I was legitimately amped.
heck yeah.
So that's kind of what kicked off our relationship too, I think, right? Was that I reached out and booked you for a Sunday Funday showcase.
Yep.
Which for those unaware, undoctrinated folks, the Sunday Funday was it monthly or week? It was monthly.
Yeah, we were doing
Yeah.
it monthly, I think.
Yeah, it was
I think
a monthly.
it was usually like the second Sunday. It was usually landing on the second Sunday of the month, I think.
Yeah. So we'd do rock like a patio party and have a little lineup of local DJs. And DJ Lustyr was a regular piece of that, who was just very, very much the vibe we were going for. And so appreciate you for bringing that. It was very cool to see. And then, from there we just started hanging out, and we've had various little, we haven't even made it. Have we made a song together?
We have not. I was thinking about that recently.
That's disappointing. We'll have to get
we
on
should
that.
do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how we haven't.
Yeah.
So
We'll get there.
yeah.
And
do it.
we could also connect it to a project that the two of you collaborated on,
Ooh.
which was about nearly a year ago.
At the beginning of this pandemic.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want
Or
to
whatever.
cause a scene, but we're actually the Soap Boys.
Yeah.
I mean, like
no big deal. But
yeah,
Yeah.
and
The Mankato legends themselves. So
yeah, which it was basically like a little jam we made to, encourage people to have good hygiene.
yeah, it was just about hygiene, washing your hands, specifically antibacterial hand soap.
Yeah,
That is the soap to use for sure.
I think so, and I don't think that's changed. I think the scientific community still has a positive, like you should use antibacterial hand soap, and I stand by those lyrics.
Me too. Yeah.
Timeless.
Definitely.
But yeah, hopefully we're cooking up another one that's in the works a little bit. So hopefully you'll see a little bit more Soap Boys in the future, because we're still doing this.
We'll at least make it a yearly thing. I think that's our goal. So
Does the collaboration disband when the pandemic is no longer affecting us, or does it evolve beyond its original?
I don't know. Are you going to stop washing your hands when the pandemic's over, Willis?
I think
It's a good question.
what
I'd
we
like
can
to
do.
say no.
Yeah. What we can do is just take all the good things we learned from this pandemic, like washing our hands and not going out if you're sick. And we can just continue to sing about it. You know?
Oh,
'Cause those are
maybe
great
in like
things.
4 years we can do basic human decency.
I love that.
Better go.
Still wash those hands though. That's important.
Still relevant.
Okay. That is enough, Soap Boys.
What are we gonna,
More to follow.
So one of the things that has been reset. So one of the things that was most cool recently, especially with the pandemic, is how you started doing DJ live streams. And
Yeah.
I know that there's a lot of people who kind of tried, and I would count myself as one of them, but it's a different format, and I think you've done a great job of doing it.
Well, thank you.
So
Appreciate it.
congratulations.
You've
Thanks.
always kind of done cool stuff like that, though. Like, I remember when I first met you, I thought it was really cool that you were DJing on Second Life. Like, that's one of the things that you told me first. And I was like, that's, like, people show up for that? Because I hadn't heard of Second Life in, like, early 2000 is the last time I heard of Second Life. So,
I mean, that's when it was, like, relevant. So, yeah.
But, I mean, you still have been doing, like, stuff in digital spaces like that, right? Or is that still going on?
So I'm not currently doing the Second Life thing. I would love to explain that a little more.
No,
I really
please do.
enjoyed that.
It's super interesting.
I'll dive into that. So Second Life is this like massive multiplayer online game where people just kind of, it's not really a game. Like Second Life is like a good title for it because it's like people like come on there and I don't know. It's more, some people are more serious about it, but they kind of live this like Second Life. So it's like they have this whole like economy. So they have like in-game currency. I can get super nerdy about it if I wanted to. But anyway, so these people, they bought this like virtual club or like a virtual like plot of land. And they like made this virtual club. And I just like stumbled across it one day when I was bored. And I was like, holy cow, there's like a stage and like people in here. There was, I think the first time I went on there was like 30 people.
Wow.
Like 30 like avatars just like dancing around or like you could talk to like voice chat or you can do text chat, whatever. And I was like, this is so cool. Like I walked in and there was somebody on stage like playing music and like they had like a whole DJ setup, like virtual DJ setup and everything. Like you couldn't see them like themselves, but they had like their own avatar on the stage. And I was like, I kind of want to do that. So then I was walking around this like virtual club and they had a thing on the wall for like DJ applications. So then I was like, no way, there's this like a whole like, this is a real thing.
This is real.
Yeah, it's a Second Life. So then I like filled out this form and I turned it in to the box and it was like kind of like a real application. And then like, I think it was a week later, I got a message. They're like, hey, like got your application. Like, let's do like a little interview and like talk about what you play. So I was like, yeah, started doing that.
Did you have to sit down in the interview? Did you have to like arrive at the interview, or did this happen in first life?
It was the interview happened in the second life.
Oh, really?
Not the first life. Yeah.
So you like, did you meet at a coffee shop, or did you go to the club, or?
We just met in the club that he owned, because he's like the owner of that club.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we sat down. You can like sit in that game and stuff, but we like sat down and like saw what each other looked like in the game, and it was pretty wild. But yeah,
That's super.
Did
cool.
you get paid?
so I didn't have like a salary or anything, but I was able to put a tip jar out. So then people in the game, or like that were dancing or whatever, could tip if they liked the music, or whoever could send me tips. And I think the most I got was like, I got like $20 one night doing that.
Oh, cool.
Like the equivalent of $20, 20 US dollars.
Yeah, and this is, you also explained this to me once, and I think this is just weird. Like real estate in that game has value, like objects.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like what do you think this nightclub is worth? Like real world. Like if he wanted to get out of the Second Life nightclub business and sell to you, like what would you offer him?
Wait, can you say that again?
Like if he just wanted to get out, like if he was like, oh, I'm like done doing Second Life. Do you want to buy my nightclub? Make me an offer.
Oh, like if I bought the club?
Yeah, or anyone really.
Yeah. I have no idea, because you pay monthly rent for like spaces on Second Life, like for like that plot of land. Like it's like the owner has to pay like a monthly rent or whatever. I have no idea.
In-game or real currency?
It's in-game, but like you use like real currency. So
Okay.
it's sort of like a cryptocurrency, but not really. Just like
Can he
acts
make
like that sort of
money though at the club? Can he make money like selling his drinks that he can? Or I don't know what they sell.
You can. I mean, you can technically get drinks. Obviously, it doesn't do anything, but yeah, you can get stuff like glow sticks, or they have like random things in the club. Yeah, and they have like tip jars. Like I guess there's like performance dancers, I guess you could say, like in the club, so they have tip jars too, or whatever. So yeah, it's crazy how that works. But I couldn't tell you exactly how much it would cost like per month to own a virtual club. I haven't looked into that.
Do you know if he designed it, created the space, or whether it was kind of there? And
I'm not sure if he like pulled from like a model that was already made, or if he had it like made custom for that. But he has like custom signage and stuff like that. So
Cool.
yeah.
Has
That's
it
really neat.
afforded you any opportunities? Like did you gain fans, or like what happened?
Did actually. It's cool because one person that I met through Second Life still tunes into my streams, like my Twitch streams, which is what I'm doing now. I see him in the chat every week, and it's awesome. And like I miss that part of it, because I did have like kind of a following on Second Life, like 5 to 10 people who like recognized me every week, and they were like, "Oh, it's like the house guy." So I do miss that, but yeah, still have one of them that tunes into my streams, so it's awesome. So I think doing that, because that was a weekly thing for me too, Friday nights. So that basically snowballed into the Twitch streams again, like when the pandemic started, because I don't know, I think I was doing that for a little bit of time at the beginning of the pandemic. I think for the first 4 months I was doing Second Life and Twitch. But then eventually I just did the Twitch thing, because that seemed to be better for what I was doing. I kind of wanted to focus more on that. So, but I do miss the Second Life thing. I might get back into that.
Yeah. I don't know. It's definitely, it's odd. Like the whole idea of like a completely separate but digital economy, and paying rent in that way is just completely weird and foreign to me.
Definitely. I mean, it could probably be comparable to like VR chat, if people are familiar with that these days. I know the creators of Second Life were going to develop some kind of VR equivalent of Second Life, but I don't think that went very well. So, but I could see I think VR chat has already done a lot of like in-house DJs or whatever in certain spaces. So,
well, it's not even that different from like Fortnite putting on Travis Scott and
Marshmallow.
Yeah, Marshmallow.
Whatever. I think Diplo
Wait,
even
what
did
happened?
one.
Do you?
I kind of know.
Yeah, go for it.
So I don't know exactly how they did it, or I haven't looked super far into it, but Epic Games, like the owners of Fortnite, they did like virtual concerts where they had, I think the first one I knew of was the Marshmallow one. So at a certain time, like throughout like the entire world. Everyone could log in and like attend this virtual concert, Marshmallow Concert, inside of the Fortnite game. So instead of like spawning in and you do like the normal Fortnite thing, you just like spawn in and you just like go hang out like in front of a stage.
Okay.
And Marshmallow did like a full, like, I don't know how long it was, 20, 25 minute DJ set. And it was live. Like he did it live and everything.
Did he have like screens and the DJ shit?
Yeah. Like it actually looked like a full on festival setup, like with the
and
LED screens and all that.
with Travis Scott's one, I think like they had animated him as an avatar, right? And he was really huge. So he was like performing in the Fortnite world, and you could like float around and you could still kind of like shoot each other or something. But otherwise you just watched this like massive avatar of Travis do his performance. And I saw like clips or something, but I didn't tune in. There's a cool opportunity for that, certainly as things get higher bandwidth with like a VR experience. Because right now, like it feels very separate from that, where it's like not the best club going experience. But I think over time it'll get better. So
for
I think
sure.
people just like stuff like that now. You know, like I don't see any reason to not do that and the regular thing too.
Yeah.
Because some people just don't want, like, I totally understand why someone might just not want to go to a concert. Like, it's not for everyone to be in a super huge, loud, crowded room and deal with that.
And I'm pretty sure there's got to be a way for making those like virtual clubs like more all ages. Like I don't think they're, because even Roblox did a virtual thing too, like a virtual concert for Lil Nas X. And Roblox clientele is like mostly young kids, I guess, which are like into like Old Town Road or whatever. That one was cool because it was like a huge avatar. Like Lil Nas was huge, but then he was like transporting to like different areas, or like they set up these like, I don't know what you'd call it, like sets basically. So like first one, he was at like a gas station. I don't remember exactly what it was, but yeah, different sets. And then he would like transport, and then like everyone else would like teleport with him too, and just like ride along with him to these like different sets, I guess. So
that's interesting.
I think there's a lot of opportunity there for like the younger generation to get into electronic music or just like concerts in general.
Yeah.
So
early on with, I guess it was inspired by the pandemic or as a response to, there was a lot of DJs and production, maybe like Insomniac, like the big DJ production companies doing online shows. And I'm curious if you have any thoughts about that. I guess I was watching it happen and I was interested and I tuned into a few, and like I just didn't like them. Like I didn't enjoy them in the way that I would one of their other shows. And I thought that like some of the best DJs in person, it didn't translate well to being a good online show. And so there's an interesting like dynamic there that I can't really fully grasp.
Yeah. I think the biggest like difference between like an actual show and then like a virtual show is the fact that there's no crowd for these virtual shows. And that definitely threw me off the first time I watched like those rave-a-thons on Insomniac, where it was like this crazy DJ like throwing bangers, like playing like super crazy tracks.
Yeah.
And it was just like, what's the main guy's name that does that? I can't remember. Like the host of the show. Sometimes it'd just be him. And sometimes he'd like bring in like his kids. So it's just like him and like his kids. And they were just like at this like empty venue with this like, I don't know, DJ playing bangers, like super awesome tracks, which is like, it's cool. It's like a great thing to like turn on and just watch and like just vibe out to. But I think that's maybe what threw you off. Just like,
well, some of those heavy dubstep artists where, I don't know. I guess some of it's kind of hit or miss for me anyway, but especially with it being digital and there not being that energy in my room, like listening to the shrill rhythm was kind of like nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Not really feeling that.
So I feel that like when there's a lot of music that I would like at a festival, especially maybe some of the harder, heavier stuff, and the way it controls you there, at least in my experience, is that the music literally hits you and you can't stop paying attention to it. Whereas normally I'm never going to turn the music up that loud in my own home, and I'm not going to have that experience. So, compared to like a boiler room set, where I think those things are really well curated to be enjoyed afterwards. People like to watch that on their TV in their house, or like I've seen some videos you've watched of like people just like chilling out and spitting records or, whatever. And like that to me feels like the vibe for chilling in my room. And like, I'm never going to want to put on like this,
Definitely. Yeah.
even if I would enjoy being there.
That's where I feel like why I brought it up too is actually I feel like you with your streams kind of hit that in a good spot where it was not, I don't know, well, maybe it's partially the house music being like a little bit more vibey rather than like aggressive, but it hit in that soft spot where I could be like editing videos or playing video games or whatever, and I could enjoy it. And sometimes I'd be like dancing in my basement by myself.
Yeah.
And that was cool too, because it was like inspired that. Whereas I never felt inspired by some of those other shows, despite them being like massive production. And like certainly somebody spent a lot of time trying to make it cool. It was just the wrong environment for the thing.
Yeah.
So,
well, I appreciate that. I'm glad.
Yeah, thank you.
You
Maybe
like what
more
I do.
DJs look like they were having as much fun as you. Like, it's like, maybe if you've never seen Andrew DJ, he's having fun. Sometimes you see DJs who look like they're filing their taxes, but like, it's like Andrew's like dancing and encouraging people to have a good time.
Yeah.
That is true. It's a good way of setting the tone for what's expected for people. And so if you are enjoying yourself, like even if they're not,
like, what's he got that I don't?
Yeah. Well, that's cool too. I appreciate you saying that. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. DJing is one of my favorite things. Like I get so much joy out of it. So it's hard for me to not have fun behind the decks. Like I feel like I'm usually like smiling or like even like during build-ups, like I'll still be moving a little bit, So yeah, I enjoy that a lot. So thank you. It's interesting because like on my streams, I don't talk on the microphone at all. Like the only way that I interact with the crowd is like sometimes I'll like do something like hey or like look at the camera or like I'll type in the chat, like the Twitch chat. So that's how I do like all of my interactions with the people watching. So I don't know. I think I've thought about maybe changing what I do in that regard, like maybe trying the microphone thing. But I think with the way that my stream is, kind of like going back to what you were saying, it's good just to like put on in the background. Like, or you can also vibe to it, whatever you want to do. Like I hear a lot of people who put it on when they play like video games, like Rocket League or whatever. So
yeah, you don't know if you want to insert that level of ill behavior.
Back once again.
Yeah.
For the Renegade Master.
Well, that makes sense. There's been a couple of streams that I tune into, and some of them do approach that in different ways too. Where like Stolen Drums is a big. He does a lot of mic work, and he'll kind of just like vibe out and respond to the chat, and that adds an element of. I think it's probably nice for people who are interacting with him in the chat, but it definitely takes the replay value down a little bit and makes it something that's, I think there's a time and a place for it, right? And then it probably just depends on whether it's the kind of thing you're going for and whether you like it.
For sure, yeah.
Or if you want people to catch your stream live or not, if it's the kind of thing you want people to catch. Because, I mean, I don't know. I wonder, like, I feel like daytime talk shows and stuff have like tons of people watching them, but I can't imagine that unless something like gets said that's important that anyone goes back and watches last week's twice.
Or some people just like clip that one part of it and just put it out or whatever.
When Dr. Phil gets real spicy.
Yeah, for sure. Or like the Catch Me Outside girl. Or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
that was Phil.
Actually, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people would go back and watch that whole episode. So
yeah,
maybe that's not a good one, but yeah.
Well, those ones have more entertainment than I think what you're talking about though too. Whereas like sometimes, I don't know how to simplify it. it's like what the purpose of the live stream is. Like, is it being recorded for later, or is it a vibe experience that you let people join you in? Or one of the other interesting uses for a live stream, I think, is like actually just producing something where you like record it and then you as the live streamer just use that format as like a way of, I don't know, auditing your own like explanations of things or something. The example would be like someone who makes tutorials. Maybe they like do the tutorial on the live stream, and then as they build their audience, they get like more questions about it. And so they might be able to answer a question in their doing the tutorial that they could either just cut out if it was a simple question, or that they could keep in there because it informed the way that they should make them.
That's a good point. Yeah. Yeah. I think like a lot of, that's what's appealing to watching like producers on Twitch, like people who are like producing like tracks. Just because sometimes they'll say something that's like of like value to people who are looking to do the same thing. Like maybe they'll drop like the name of a plugin, or they'll just like talk about the process a little bit. And I think that's like a huge benefit to watching producers on Twitch do their thing live. So I think, yeah, that's where it'd be nice to have like that interaction with like a microphone where you can like just answer somebody's question really quick. So I see the benefit of that too. Yeah.
Then maybe it's like in each case, like, is this the format for that? Or maybe you'd like do it when you're doing production streams or something.
Yeah, like I've tried doing a few production streams, and I have like my mic ready to go if I need to say anything. So it could just be more like I don't have a lot to say when I'm DJing. Like I'm just like thinking of like all the tracks in my head. So the only thing I'd say is like, let's go, or I don't know. And like,
put your hands up.
It's like very unnatural for me to do that too. Like I feel like I'm not the guy who's like, let's everybody jump, or let's go, or so.
Well, especially when everyone's like sitting eating Cheetos on their couch. Like maybe it's not the right.
Maybe I should like do that. Everybody dip their hands in the bowl and grab some chips. Let's go.
That could work.
And then like drop it.
You like make assumptions about what people might be doing while they're watching your stream, and you're like, if you're doing this, put a emoji in the chat.
I like that for sure.
That'd be funny. If you got sticky fingers from food.
If you got Cheeto fingers, make some emote things in the chat.
After you clean your fingers. Don't get sticky keyboard.
Yeah. That is definitely something you don't want.
So, unrelated, you're also a drummer.
Yeah. I am a drummer.
Change of course there.
No, that's totally cool. I drum.
How long have you been doing that for?
So, I guess first I started doing piano. I did piano lessons from 1st grade to 4th grade. And then I officially became a percussionist in 5th grade. But it was nice having like a little bit of like key background. So yeah, I was in a lot of bands, like concert bands and stuff in school.
Marching band, right?
Yeah, I was in marching band too. So 9th grade was the first year I did marching band. And is that rain? Oh
it
my
is.
goodness.
It's raining quite hard.
We got some
I love it.
serious rain going on.
Yeah.
It's kind of a vibe though. Voice crack. Because I haven't seen rain like this in a long time.
Yeah,
it was thundering. I heard thunder.
I thought I heard a little bit too. Especially in good thunder, I bet. But anyway, sorry, that was terrible.
Is that like a southern Minnesota pun?
Yeah, like only I feel like that's the perfect place for that kind of pun. Like this podcast. Like
where else would it go over? Like who else knows?
Yeah, so I had to drop it. What were we talking about? Drumming. Yeah, so I started playing the marching bass drum in 9th grade, and that's I think where I really fell in love with the idea of drumming. So I did that. I did marched in the fall season, so like the fall marching band. And then I also discovered the competitive winter drumline thing in 9th grade. And I did that 9th through 12th grade. Absolutely loved it. Super fun. It was nice having that competitive edge to like a performance, because it just like really kept us like on our toes, and like we wanted to win kind of a thing, which was cool, which took my competitive side, because I did some sports back in the day, like lacrosse, basketball, That was kind of my thing. So yeah, it was cool doing that. And then in 10th grade is when I joined my first like rock band, like cover band. So we were just covering like classic rock, anything from like Red Hot Chili Peppers to Living Colour. Like we were
Nice.
shredding. We were doing some cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, played the drum set for that. And yeah, that's kind of where I was like, oh, I can like totally play drums in a band too. Like that's something I'm into.
And so more recently, you've performed a lot with a local group, Alec John and the Sky Surfers.
Heck yeah.
Shout out to them fellas.
Shout out to the Sky Surfers. Shout out Alec, main man, Alec Martins. We got Chief on the bass. We got Aaron shredding on the guitar. And then, yeah, I play the drums in that group. So we haven't really been doing anything because Alex, doing his thing, just traveling around, whatever.
Well,
and pandemic.
Yeah. Put a little kink in that project, probably.
Yeah. I mean, we did a few shows like in the beginning of like, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 shows between like March and September at like outdoor places whenever we could. But, but yeah, we have actually been talking and might be doing some shows in the future if things clear up. So
nice.
Yeah. And then I also, probably one of the best like jobs I ever had, I was playing the bass drum at Valley Fair in the Benchwarmers. That was awesome. Summer of 2019. Oh my goodness.
That was better than DJing at the...
Well, oh yeah, I DJ'd there too.
You DJ'd at the Valley Scare,
Valley
right?
Scare. That was the same year. That was sweet too.
That sounds like, I don't know, that's cool.
Yeah. That was cool because it was basically, I was just taking what I already did with my DJ stuff and I was bringing it to Valley Scare because they were just like, yeah, we like want to set up this like DJ booth like at the Bloodsuckers bar, which is like the only place, not the only place, but a place to get alcohol there if you're of age. So it was a more mature crowd. So I was just kind of playing.
Is it called Bloodsuckers Bar all year round?
No.
That'd be sick.
That would be sick. They actually, so if anyone who's familiar with Valley Fair, like the arcade that's right next to Coasters, which is that restaurant. So you know what I'm talking about?
I haven't been to Valley Fair since I was like literally a child. So I probably should go and get properly drunk at least once. Like,
ooh, TF road trip.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Well, I guess we don't know if you're going to be there again, probably.
Maybe, because they are going to be open this year. Okay. Little inside information. Actually, I think it's public, so never mind. But Valley Fair will be open this year.
Wow.
So I'm not sure about Valley Scare, but yeah. So it was cool though, because I was just DJing in this bar. Like I was just playing like stuff that I was already enjoyed playing. But I found some stuff that had kind of a creepier vibe. So I was playing more like techno and like tech house. So it was like pretty spooky house and techno. That was what I was going for. So
that's awesome. It is really coming down.
Yeah, it's startling. I don't know if you can hear that. It's hailing.
I can hear it in the headphones.
Is it?
I saw a hail bounce.
Here.
Should we just enjoy this for like a little bit?
Yeah, you want to turn a camera around, Willis, and just let everyone know. The rain. Oh, it's going to be boring by the time Willis gets over there. Well, just imagine it was a lot better.
Yeah, it really did just stop right now. That's crazy.
Shy rain.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Shy rain.
I do love the rain though.
Sounds like it could be a...
Shy rain?
Yeah.
Are you thinking like a
just like
artist or
atmospheric track?
Ooh, Shy Rain. I actually like that idea.
What's the one that goes like da 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 da? No,
I got nothing.
Does it have to do with rain?
It sounded like it's like Irene. It's like Irene.
Jolene.
Irene. That was like Shireen. Yeah.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Yeah, I tried to turn the cameras. Like those windows are looking wild, but you can't actually see out of them. So
yeah.
We'll see if it came through on the microphones or not.
I doubt it. I didn't hear it in my monitors. Well,
okay. I thought I maybe did, but I wasn't sure. So,
well, either way, it was a quick one.
That was a quick one. But it was nice.
You want to do some plugs and stuff?
What were we talking about?
Talking about
Drummond.
Valley Fair.
Drummond Valley Fair.
Valley Fair.
We've really covered the spectrum.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything we didn't talk about that you're involved with?
I hope I mentioned that I'm a music industry student at MSU Mankato now.
You did.
I think I did.
Compared to all the other things, that sounds like the least interesting. I'm gonna throw that out there, but
Yeah. No,
how's
I'm
that
actually,
going for you?
It's good. I'm really liking it. They're basically just like teaching us how to be an entrepreneur, and that's like super awesome. So, getting a lot of inside information just on the industry and how to navigate it. Looking at a lot of examples, but also I'm taking like production classes there, so that's been pretty helpful too. And I'm actually in this film scoring class right now, where we're taking movie trailers. Yeah,
I've been watching those. They're so cool. You did a Tron one and then Interstellar, right?
Yeah, or 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Both were super cool.
I didn't see those.
I don't know if I knew what the original sounded like. I think I might have watched them after, but I knew the Tron one because I was very familiar with that movie. And so either way, super cool project that we should link if we can. Otherwise, go check them out on your Facebook.
They're on YouTube. Those film scores. Yep.
Lustyr.
Lustyr. Yep. Just Lustyr.
Right on.
So
that's super cool project. So do you take the video and then you just remove the audio and then make your own that fits it?
yeah. So actually, yeah, what I did for the 2001: A Space Odyssey was just I took like one like sample based synthesizer I like plug in and just like created or like recorded a bunch of cool sounds from that and just kind of put them into like the video where I thought they'd fit, and then built like a melodic structure around it, but kept it very atmospheric. And I did a similar thing to the Tron Legacy one too. I listened to that one and I was like, oh man, like I cannot mess this one up. One, because it's Daft Punk, and two, it sounds so cool. So I took some of the elements from that one, but I like translated them over to a different instrument, like something like more electronic-y or whatever. So whatever I thought sounded good. Yeah, those were really fun to do. That was a really fun class so far. So I think we have 2 more trailers we're doing in that one. So, but it's spring break right now, and I'm chilling.
Wait,
It isn't. It's spring break. Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, wow.
It feels good. This has
That's
been
cool.
one of the most chill weeks I've had in a while. So it was good timing for this podcast.
That is good.
Yeah.
The only other thing I can think of we haven't gotten to is you being a featured DJ at a FurryCon, which is
we didn't touch
certainly
that at
cool.
all.
Yeah.
That's interesting and cool. How does one get involved in that? Like, and what's that look like?
Yeah. So I think, well, I don't know. The first thing you'd have to do in something like that is like find a weird niche where they have like conventions. So that's a really cool thing about the furry fandom is it's, I don't know, there's a lot of negative stigmas around it, but I think it's a very, very positive group. But yeah, so basically I just kind of heard about this convention because I was like in the know of the furry fandom, like in Minnesota. There's like a nice local group for it. I ended up going to like some of their other meets and people seemed really nice. So then I decided to go to Furry Migration. That's the name of the convention. Happens in Minneapolis. And I saw on their website that they were looking for DJs because they do like a little furry rave or whatever. And I was like, heck yeah. Like, it sounds like the best way I could get involved in this community. So I, sent them a DJ demo, and they were like, yeah, we for sure like want you to play. So that was my first convention ever. And I ended up DJing at my first convention ever, which was pretty sweet.
Cool.
So ended up DJing there in 2018 and 2019. And then I actually DJ'd it was basically like my last party weekend of 2020 was when I DJ'd at First Squared in Wisconsin. That was another convention. I DJ'd there. It was like February, like mid-February, I want to say. So that was cool. It kind of stinks because it felt like I was sort of building this cool brand around like, I don't know, DJing at these furry conventions. And like, there was like people who recognized me at First Squared that were like, oh, I saw you at like FM. So it was like kind of building up to be this cool thing, and then the pandemic was like, psh.
I think
Nah.
furries will survive.
Oh, they for sure will.
they're-
Yeah,
Well,
I don't think any virus could wipe them out.
no, probably not. Yeah, no, they're here to stay, and they're just gonna keep growing.
do you
So
do you think there'll be more DJ sets at conventions coming up then for you?
yeah, for
When-
sure.
When they're able to resume.
Yeah, I think so, because I
That's cool.
have some pretty good connections with the Minnesota people, and I think the people in Wisconsin liked me. Some dude, it was crazy. He was like in his fursuit, and he was like, "Man, I loved your set. Like, I run this other convention, and like we like kind of we want to like have you play at our convention, and like we'll give you a free room and everything." So
That's awesome.
yeah, because the thing with that is it's volunteer based, so you don't really get paid, which is totally cool. But I was like, free room, that's like payment. So yeah,
Well, we like what you're doing here at Triple Falls, and it's great to have you on the cast to join us.
thank you, Willis. Thank you, Jake. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Why don't you give everyone a quick plug on where they can find you and your stuff?
Definitely.
I would throw out the Twitch stream Fridays 10 to 2. Come hang out with me.
Yes. Willis will most
And-
likely be in the chat.
I will
Conundrum
probably too.
Beats.
I missed last week, but I was there the week before.
Yeah, that was cool seeing you there. He was dropping so many emotes.
It was. I was
Yeah.
partying. I was partying pretty hard.
Partying as hard as you can on Twitch.
Yeah. Well, I was
That's
partying as
awesome.
hard as I can alone in my room,
Oh, yeah.
which is actually pretty fucking hard.
Yeah. That was the first one you were in, right?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
first or second.
Second one, maybe.
I think I've dropped in them before, but I hadn't like stuck around.
Yeah, you stuck around that time. It was awesome. It was cool. It's always awesome seeing my friends in there, even if it's just like a little high or whatever. That's totally cool. But yeah, okay. Plug. Cool. So my Twitch is twitch.tv/Lustyr Lustyr music. You can find me on there. I do the stream, like Will said, every Friday, 10 p.m. Usually go to 2 a.m. Central Time. Sometimes I'll go to 1. Kind of depends on the vibe and stuff, but for sure until 1 in the morning. You can find me on Instagram at Lustyr Lustyr official. You can find me on Facebook at DJ Lustyr. I've realized that these are all like slightly different and it's probably confusing, so I have to like make sure I state that. And then my YouTube is just Lustyr, Lustyr. So that's where you can find me.
Right on. Well, thank you for joining us again, and we look forward to keeping up with the future tunes. Actually, before we go, are you working on any music releases? We didn't actually talk about like future projects.
Yeah. I have been working on a lot of stuff, and I have a lot of tracks that I'm pretty proud of, and they're very polished compared to like some of my previous stuff. So I'm pretty hyped on that. I don't have any releases scheduled, but be on the lookout because I'm going to figure that out very soon. So
Cool.
I have some bangers in my back pocket. So
Well, we look forward to it.
cool.
Until next time, we out.
We out.
Mm-hmm.